Good evening, everybody.
I just found the keys to a city. The beats are big and the lights are pretty. So why can't we go to the busy where the dreams are in the sky?
100% Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It is.
It is?
It takes place during Christmas time.
It takes place at a Christmas party.
Well, the first one does.
That's all that matters.
Okay.
Everything else is a sequel and after the fact. Die Hard, The Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie. I agree.
That was before our banter. There you are by Pogo, our excellent help. Well, he's not really a helper. We've never met him, but he seems to be a really nice guy. But he lets us use his music for free, so.
Yeah, that's why we assume he's a nice guy. Otherwise,
I'm Forrest, as you all
I'm
know,
Al.
and Al is back. It's really weird not filming on a Sunday.
It is.
Because, like, normally I have the whole day to plan. I could, play some video games or something in the morning, relax for a bit, and then...
I haven't slept in 48 hours.
Well, why not?
So that's cool. Well, an exam.
Oh, okay.
You know.
He was in college. I think graduate school. We touched on that before. This is, if you can't tell by my long, painstaking decorations in the studio...
It's the Christmas episode.
It's the Christmas episode.
Decorate the tree, though.
It's not really a Christmas tree.
I think it is.
It's a taxus. I hate the plant. It's close to the barn, and there was a branch that looked a little bit like a tree.
I think this looks like a tree.
It's crooked.
Well.
Exciting news about the contest.
There was a contest?
Do you even watch the old episodes?
Honestly? Do you want the truth?
No, the good answer. Or just don't tell me.
Yes, I do. I watch every single one of them religiously.
We pulled one of these a name out of the Santa hat, and it turned out that I won.
It's because there were no other names in the hat.
Yes. I hate doing that, Alfred.
Splicing?
Yeah.
It's good practice.
Yeah, but we're trying not to do completely unedited. But we do get off on tangents sometimes.
Yeah, and we just have to reel them in. So, now that we're done that tangent...
Nobody won the contest.
Nobody won the contest.
Not enough people entered.
Nobody entered. I didn't even enter. I didn't even know there was a contest.
We might have maybe had one entrant, but they didn't, do it properly, so...
Anyway,
because we're going to try to make this episode go a little faster than normal, because today's theme is we're here for a good time.
Not a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Our drink of the week is eggnog.
It is, and it's kind of gross bottom shelf eggnog.
It is a bottle of eggnog that comes pre-mixed.
So it's plastic. The bottle's plastic. It was less than $20. So
it was less than $20. But
honestly, it's not bad.
It's not bad at all. But unless it's really good eggnog, I didn't realize that this was kind of mediocre eggnog, because I was like, what eggnog is going to be more than $20 anyway? I didn't even look, and I didn't.
The thing is, you have to go to the store and buy plain eggnog.
I thought this was. I didn't even look at the label, and it's pre-mixed. But
see, that's the trick. Honestly, I think if you spiced it up with a little bit of extra cinnamon and nutmeg, it'd probably be pretty good.
I just threw another shot of whiskey in it.
Well, you could do that too.
Whiskey's delicious. Eggnog's kind of gross. At least this one.
This eggnog, it's just kind of creamy. It tastes like I'm drinking vanilla ice cream that's melted.
It needs more nutmeg.
Yeah, a little bit of nutmeg, a little bit of cinnamon. That'll be passable. Anyway, nutmeg in general, though, is good. I've never made it from scratch, but the stuff from the store is good, and good with rum or brandy, whiskey. Okay.
Basically, though, to make this, it's real eggnog and booze.
Yeah.
Brandy, rum, whiskey.
I like brandy.
I'm sure you could do it with vodka, but
I don't think so.
But I wouldn't trust it.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Well, let's jump into the news.
Oh, yeah, news. We have lots of news, actually.
No, we don't.
No, we don't?
No.
Okay.
We have concise news.
All right. Concise news. Why don't you head off this concise news section?
So, since we're not filming on a Sunday, I added this in because this past Sunday we would have had no idea. Michael Flynn, who was a part of the Trump administration, has been pled guilty to false statements to a government official, specifically to 2 FBI agents. Long and the skinny, he said he didn't talk about something that he did on a phone call in passing.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be sentenced today. The trial's already basically done. The judge ripped him up and down like, you're a traitor, blah, 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 blah.
Probably not going to get a big sentence, though.
Yeah, it's kind of not a big punishable. Apart from terrorism, it's really treated as a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
So, but that's been delayed, so we have no idea. There's been a lot of riots, though.
There have. The yellow vest riots in France started a few weeks ago.
Yellow vests, like, are they all in safety vests or something?
Yeah.
Are they doing the dance?
No, unfortunately. They're the mandated safety vests that French people have to have in their cars for some reason, for safety.
When?
All the time.
Are you supposed to wear it when you're driving?
You know what? I don't know. I didn't look that up. I'm sorry. I should have researched that. But now that you mention it, probably. France is very dangerous.
It is France.
Yeah. So they're protesting or they have been protesting about rise in diesel tax.
Is it just diesel tax?
It was originally just diesel tax.
Oh.
Or
Which is
primarily
really
diesel
ironic.
tax. Well, they use a lot of diesel.
Well, I think we use more diesel.
But regular people use more diesel.
Regular people use more diesel over there because all of Europe pushed, oh my God, we have to have diesel. It's so much more efficient. And all I've heard about for the past few years is how they're trying to get rid of dirty diesel from
It
Europe.
is pretty dirty.
Not when you're getting 50, 80 miles per gallon.
All the fossil fuels are
Right,
gonna have to
right.
go.
On a term of clean versus dirty, yeah.
Yeah.
On a term of gas versus diesel,
Yeah, it's 6 of one, half dozen the other. But in any case, that rolled into protests about like minimum wage and education and a bunch of other stuff, and they kind of turned from riots into protests into riots, and it's been a good time.
There were streets that were, I guess, the equivalent of like it was just a row of high-end apartments and blah 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 blah, and just fancy cars down the whole road. Every one of them burnt, lit on fire. I felt so bad for the cars, but I do feel bad for the people because
Interesting, and it's been spreading now to other places in Europe.
yes,
apparently.
well, I mean, taxation has always been cause for riots. I mean, America's literally founded on being taxed, like on saying screw it to being taxed. But in Brussels now, they're having similar riots over the signing of a UN immigration treaty. I didn't spend a lot of time on it because
I don't want to think about the Europeans and their messed up immigration situation.
but all over people are saying, how could these people be rioting? They must be right-wing extremist racists because they don't like the way the immigration's going. It, honestly, yes, there are right-wing racist extremists. Yeah?
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah? Okay. That's not the majority of people. Or else they wouldn't be called extremists, right? That means that there is a baseline. And people just fighting over immigration is...
I agree. I don't know, but I think we spent enough time on these. The riots in France, they happened. They're almost over. And Brussels, which is even more boring than France.
So, you know what I want to talk about
What?
next? This is big news. The NJ Low Capacity Magazine ban. New Jersey's wonderful governor, after butchering the emergency call for snowplows, and then calling the snowplows out when it wasn't within 5 degrees of freezing, has now... Well, he signed it into law a while ago, but because it's been toying around in the courts, he has banned 15 round magazine.
Well, they reduced the limit. They chopped it from 15 to 10 now.
Yeah, but it's a real, like, hardcore felony if you had the 15 round mag.
Well, it was a felony if you had the
standard capacity.
standard capacity mags before that. They reduced the limit because, those 5 rounds make a big difference.
Oh yeah. Well, before it was only kind of bad to, you only had 2 more rounds. Well, like with the handgun, standard capacity is 17. So it's only, yes, I know, 1911's 8 rounds. It was still a felony, but they
It wasn't.
They'd let you slide a little.
We're talking about the state police. I don't think they let anybody slide.
Fair enough. Well, it depends on the court, though, because we had the one chick who came over from a different state, had
Pennsylvania. Now that is something different, though. That is because the federal government regulates that and said that since it was legal in her state and she was driving through.
No. There were like 3 different issues.
Yeah, and they all had to do with
And
interstate
one of them,
commerce, like interstate travel.
One of them, the court was like, yeah, okay, we'll let you slide. On the second one, whatever court they went to was throwing the book at them, and Chris Christie pardoned them. And then on the third one, they were trying to throw the book at them, and then it got into the federal issue. And
Look, I'm all for reasonable laws and regulations of guns. Magazine capacities are stupid, though. Well, we differ on that a little bit, but I think magazine capacities are stupid. Like, limits are stupid.
I like the Gavin McInnes fight because it's great. You and I can discuss gun laws and come to a reasonable conclusion, but for the most part, the world or the country, when you talk about gun laws, I was on my Twitter excursions, and this one guy just came out and was like, use an AR-15 to hunt a deer, you'll blow a 2-foot hole in the deer. AR-15 should be illegal. The velocity is such a problem. It's like, well, yeah, compared to a handgun, the velocity of, unless it's the FM57, the velocity of a rifle is extreme.
Before we get into a tangent about
this
the
is a good
nitty-gritty
tangent.
of guns, I think it's the takeaway from that stupid Twitter conversation you had was that the people who have the loudest say in gun control laws frequently have no idea about guns.
Right. So then, well, I guess before I get into that tangent, or if I do and we don't just run it over, because that seems like what he wants to do, Gavin McInnes, who just recently got let go from Blaze TV, which was CRTV, blah, 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 I don't know all this stuff. But he was banned from YouTube for a little bit. He said, okay, it's great when you can talk to someone and come to a middle ground. Where, some points one side gives, some points the other side gives on. But if your middle ground is freedom and liberty or complete restriction, there's no fair middle ground for that. So he says you need to go further, and you need to, his quote was machine guns in Manhattan. He wanted to get rid of the assault weapons ban, or not the assault weapon ban, that's already gone. He wanted to get rid of all the laws on the fully auto guns. Just, not that he wanted that, but he wanted to be able to come to a middle point, because people think that the middle point's the dead middle of the conversation.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that we in New Jersey have a skewed view of this because of the bureaucratic nightmare that is the state of New Jersey and the ridiculous restrictive gun laws. But I think, and I hate to say this, I think some of the things New Jersey has are probably well-intentioned, especially like purchasers' IDs.
I think that's so for those of you who don't know, the purchaser ID, when you first go to buy a handgun, you have to go
It's like
through
an extra application, a bit of a longer background check. It's a pain.
I like the concept of that if it bypassed the NICS check on every gun for X amount of time.
And see, I think that's a reasonable,
So they dig a little more. That you maybe for 6 months you can buy a gun without getting any background check, but
and then you either renew it or... Yeah, so New Jersey's very kind of draconian with their gun laws, but I think that also skews our view of a lot of other parts of the country. I think there are some parts of the country that, yeah, it's cool that there's a lot of freedoms with what you can have, but that also causes, I think, a lot of the issues that people see with guns in this country. Basically what that means is people getting guns who shouldn't have guns, and that's as a direct result of the complete lack, I don't even want to say lax gun control laws, just the complete lack of any sort of gun control through large swaths of the country. And unfortunately what ends up happening is you get this polarization where the people in those states see states like New Jersey and go, oh, hell no, we don't want to be like them.
Yeah.
And so stop any sort of gun control. And the people in New Jersey, I should really say not the people, but the people in charge, the politicians, look at those other states and go, oh, hell no, we can't do that. And so they get even more extreme.
Well, and then it's a really tough
so everybody
situation.
loses.
It's a really tough statistical anomaly, too. Because if you remove all of the major cities, which
the issue
isn't, well,
is-
hang on. Which isn't really a fair thing to do in a statistic, because you'd have to.
I think that the key is that those guns from those cities are obviously not legal. They've usually been stolen or illegally brought in from elsewhere. And the issue is that, in a state like New Jersey has very strict gun laws, but obviously I'm not running around Trenton with a gun, but someone who is running around Trenton with a gun probably got it from Arizona.
All right, fair point. There was that big shooting in France
Yep.
where the guys brought in machine guns.
Yeah.
And like France and all the surrounding countries have very strict gun laws. It's not like a state with strict gun laws in the middle of a state without strict gun laws. Although maybe it is, because it's...
I think it is similar
it's the
to that, because that's
European
what
Union and
we see happening with New Jersey. The bad cities in New Jersey that do have gun issues, those guns are coming in from out of state.
But-
It's not, they're not...
So then why does every single... Now this is just more food for thought before we jump into our segment. Why does almost, because there are a few exceptions, every single state that has strict gun laws typically has a higher crime rate?
Generally, because those strict gun laws... Wait, hold on, think about it.
We don't have to answer that.
No, I don't think this is an answer. I just think this is
No.
a legitimate addition to that. And I think there is an actual answer. I don't think this is a food for thought answer. It's
Why?
because most of the states that have stricter gun laws happen to be in super densely populated areas and enact those gun laws as a
But I
result
wanted them
of
to come.
increase.
I wanted them to come to that conclusion.
It's reactionary, but there is a right answer to that. It's because
Yeah.
it's reactionary to the high gun crime in the urban area.
Yeah.
You go out into North Dakota, you can have a minigun and no one's going to give a shit. There's no one to shoot, even if you
Yeah.
wanted to.
All right. That's a good point, but I mean, it's tough because then you go, okay, well, let's look at England. And we really should try to cut this as short as we can. But you look at England, so I'll talk real fast. You look at England, who had a crime decline as soon as they, really strict, extra strict laws on guns, especially in London. The crime rate went down a little bit, and then it started climbing up above where it was before the gun laws.
Yeah.
And England's like a giant island. It's separate, so you can't
People are going to commit crimes no matter what. And the U.S. on a whole has had a pretty steady decline in violent crimes.
Yeah, it really has.
We're doing something right, at the very least. Even if there's still an issue with, there's still debate on guns, violent crime is going down. So anyone who likes to think that the U.S. is the Wild West right now is just wrong.
Yeah, well...
Well, whatever.
Whatever. All right, so we're going to jump into our segment, our first one. So this is
Yes.
Christmas.
This is Christmas.
This is Christmas.
Well, it's not Christmas yet.
Wow. I mean, by the time
Actually, almost exactly a week from now. Yeah.
It's a week from now. When I upload this, it'll be 2 days before.
It's basically Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
This New Jersey low capacity, yes, standard capacity is 30 rounds, right?
I think that is, yeah.
Uh,
At this point, just about every.
Well, if you're outside of New Jersey, California, New York, well, actually, you can't even get a magazine in California anymore.
yeah.
You have to take the gun apart to.
They've had that stupid magazine.
Well, they have the bullet button, and
Did they
then
get rid of that?
3 years ago, you have to be. You
No,
have
they
to,
still have the bullet.
No.
You can't do that anymore? Oh.
So what you have to do
That's
is.
why everyone's got SKSs over there.
Yeah. Well, SKSs are good guns.
They are cool.
They're good.
I missed out on that.
But so this low capacity mag ban applies to off duty police officers as well. Yeah.
It's just. Why?
Because restricting the magazines is going to stop all the violence. Even though Nicholas Cruz shot up the Parkland school with 10-round magazines because he couldn't fit 30 in his backpack, it is Yes, fun fact. Well, no, sad fact.
I don't think that's a fun fact.
Very, very.
It is a fact. We'll just say it's a fact.
No, it's a sad fact, but it's the reality. He didn't use high capacity, standard capacity magazines because the other ones were more concealable. It's also why handguns account for the majority of shootings. And
yeah, honestly,
And this
with all the people really like to point the finger at like the scary looking rifles, but
actually,
most crimes are committed by handguns because you can put them in your pocket.
I've come to 3 conclusions on that. It's the economics of it. So, I guess I've really come to 2 big conclusions. It's the economics of it. It's the price and the popularity, the supply, the demand, the price point, all of that. Because they're popular, they're cheap. Because they're cheap, they're popular.
What, AR-15s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because
because the Army's been using them for 40, 50 years.
Let's easy on that. The Army's been using the M4, which
yes, you're right. The Army's been using the M4, but what that means is
which is actually based off of the AR-15 platform, but the AR-15 is specifically for civilian use only. But because the lower receiver includes a lot, but the actual base of it is the same.
Yes.
The actual large
They're
metal
made on
part.
the same machines.
Yeah.
I think that's the takeaway here. They're made on the same machines.
The large metal parts, the things that you look at.
And really, more importantly, the companies that make them for the Army go, we can also sell these.
Yeah, we could sell these versions
Yeah,
of
we
it
can
to
just
civilians.
sell a different version.
So the big parts...
Which, by the way, has been pretty much standard for the past 300 years that guns have been common in the military. You can't just make your living off military sales.
Right. But so the big parts are all the same, so they were cheap. And then because people are like, wow, cool, military gun, because some people are fuds when it comes to guns, people bought them. They got cheaper, supply, demand, simple economics. They got more popular, and stores carried them. Now, here's an interesting thing to note. When the media reports on a shooting, they report on either the specific make and model of the gun. So they'd say, well, it was with a Ruger Mini 14 or a Browning Satori. So they're talking about specific guns. Or they go into the broad range, like if it's a bolt-action rifle, they say,
or they'll say
it's a rifle.
AR style.
Wait, no, hang on.
That's popular
I'm
one.
getting to that. So you get into the broader categories where it's a semi-auto rifle, it's a bolt-action rifle, it's a shotgun, it's a handgun, the standard blanket terms. AR-15 is like a middle blanket term because like the 1911, it covers many manufacturers, many models, all with their own little quirks, their own little differences, because they look similar. So the media just throws this blanket on them that covers several several firearms. It's our segment. Why are we talking about shooting?
I don't know. We got stuck on guns again. It's Christmas. It's Christmas, and we're talking about Christmas.
Die Hard.
Die Hard, guns.
Yeah.
No, we're back on guns. Christmas. Santa.
Are we jumping into Santa? You skipped a page.
What did I skip?
You skipped all of our talk about Christmas.
Well, Christmas. Santa's Christmas.
So, winter's always been a time to be celebrated.
Because it's sad and cold.
Well, it's sad and cold, and it's sad because you have to go kill all your animals because you don't want to feed them over the winter. In ancient times, I mean, today, capitalism's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Hay's what? $6 a bale? Our Santa, I've actually found out, Santa hay farms during the summer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Great. If I need hay, I'll be sure
So you guys will have
to
already
send a letter to the North Pole.
At this point in time, you guys of the episode, you guys will have already seen them, but we have not yet.
Editing.
Yeah, exactly. The magic of editing. So hay's, let's say expensive hay, $6-7.
All right, we're not going to get into a discussion about hay.
No.
We're talking about Christmas.
You don't have to feed you can't afford to feed your animals during the winter. And since you don't have freezers to store it in, you've killed your animals, and you had big feasts, and it was winter time.
Yeah, pagans, they killed animals, they ate them.
Everyone killed animals. It wasn't pagans.
Whatever.
The Norse invented the Yule log. The Vikings.
They did like that stuff.
The Romans had festival of Saturnalia, blah, blah, where they some of the festival.
They gave gifts. They ate things. They did the normal Roman
The
stuff.
Masters and the servants flipped roles. They
knew how to have a good time.
They did.
And this was all like in winter time. A lot of these were tied to the winter solstice.
Yeah.
The Roman festival started at.
No one's going to be able to hear anything we said because we're both like,
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so Christmas, we got through this. So Christmas is fun. It happens in the winter.
Well, since there is no actual history on, like, there's no recorded date, Christmas is obviously a Christian holiday.
Christmas as a Christian holiday started to develop directly off of the pagan holidays.
Well, wait, no, we're getting into that. Christmas itself specifically is a Christian holiday.
Yes.
And it came around because before the 4th century, the church used to only celebrate Christ's resurrection.
Right.
So Easter. And then around the
bad for business.
Well,
people want a festival.
Capitalism didn't exist then.
No, but people wanted a festival in the winter, and you can't have them worshiping Saturn.
They wanted a Festivus or a festival?
Well, they wanted a festival.
What about the Festivus for the rest of us?
No.
Okay. So
pagan. They needed to make their own Jesus-oriented. They needed to make their own Jesus-oriented festival.
And to make it acceptable, they put it during the winter solstice.
Exactly, and said Jesus was born now, even though even at that time they pretty much knew he was not born then.
Yeah, because they were talking about herding sheep in those stories, and who herd sheep in the middle of winter.
Also, they were pretty close to literally when the historical person Jesus was alive. They knew when he was born. They slapped that in the winter because got rid of the other nasty pagan holidays.
Yeah, but we spoke about Santa Claus.
We did. Santa Claus is kind of the interesting one.
Santa Claus is derived from a real figure. I mean, Christ. You can get into that whole debate where Christ was real. I mean. But,
well, there was a historical person, Jesus. I don't think that's it.
But I'm Catholic, so I believe in him fully.
Right. Anyway, Saint Nick.
Apparently a completely real person as well.
Yes, a Greek bishop from Turkey.
Turkey.
Do I need to read
We
this?
already talked about the Istanbul.
He wasn't from Istanbul. He was from a small...
But it's not Constantinople anymore.
Well...
But he wasn't even from there, so what does it matter?
He wasn't from there. He was from a tiny town in Turkey, and he was very devout, and he became a saint for a couple of really ridiculous things.
He was very devout, and he was so devout, his parents died very early, but they really kind of pushed the Catholic into him, and he
Well, Christian at this time.
no, it was
He
Catholic.
was not Catholic. He
Oh.
was Christian.
Okay.
That didn't happen until the schism in the 1500s.
Oh, I'm way.
You're way
Oh,
ahead of
because
yourself.
he was alive before Christmas.
Yes, he came about, well, right when Christmas was
Okay.
beginning.
So they really knocked the Christianity into him, and he took it. When his parents died, he gave his entire inheritance to the needy. He was that devout. But he became the patron saint of children for resurrecting pickles.
Well, as the story goes, and apparently this was a very popular story in the Middle Ages, and this is one of the reasons he's associated with children and giving things to children specifically, because he was already kind of the patron saint of gifts. But this was now, he's like specifically children. He went into an inn, and the innkeeper had murdered 3 young boys and stuck them in big vats of pickling brine. And apparently this crime was so heinous that Saint Nick just sensed it out of the ether and was like, "Hey, you murdered 3 children," and went down.
Oh, no. And then Caper was like, "How did you know?"
and resurrected
And he resurrected
them.
the
And so
patron
he
saint?
was then the patron saint of children.
And his Day of Remembrance holiday is actually
December 6th,
December 6th, so it kind of...
which is the exact date that the original Roman holiday started.
So he kind of fits right into that whole, we're going to
Yeah.
slap this sort of pagan holiday, but over time, he took on the characteristics of Santa as we know him.
Right, which began primarily from Saturn and Odin. He's kind of that classic old man with a beard.
He thought I was being silly talking about the Norse, and
No, everyone likes to talk about the Norse. They're cool. They're Vikings. There's like 8 Viking shows now.
And they had
it's a hot topic.
If you watch that Castlevania on Netflix, which by the way, the season 1, which was like 4 episodes, and it made the show seem super promising, way better than the season 2.
Really, I liked season 2.
I liked it, but they had the guy from he was in Mercenaries 2. He's an actor. He was one of the demons in it, and someone was criticizing him, and he's like, "I'm a Viking. We build boats. It's what we do." So, through all these mythologies, all this Santa Claus became...
Well, Santa Claus came a little bit later when you start to mix in the weird. Germans are weird. They like to scare their children with Christmas demons.
We don't need to talk about
Yeah,
that.
we don't need to talk
It's
about it.
real
The point
Christmas.
the point is that all that bad stuff passed, and we realized that Germans make bad decisions sometimes. And then we got Santa Claus.
Yeah, but then... So, we have Santa, we have the history.
Something's missing.
It's really about something.
Something's missing.
Something's missing.
What's missing, Forrest?
Well, it is truly a religious holiday. I mean, it is supposed to...
Minus the rampant consumerism, but yeah.
Shh. But it really starts with, okay, this is the birth of Jesus. And now it's not the historical birth, but this is the celebration of the birth of Jesus. So for people in Christianity, this is a huge holiday because this is when the Lord and Savior was born to
When
this
baby
world.
Jesus gives you gifts.
It's when baby Jesus gives... Well, anyway. So for Catholics, this is but if you're a real believer, it's a huge holiday because it's one of the few church holidays that doesn't have like any solitude to it. Because most of the church holidays have a period of solitude and a period of celebration.
Well, Advent.
So, but then
Advent is part of Christmas.
no, not Advent.
Lent is for Easter.
Wow.
Advent's for Christmas.
I guess.
Yeah, there's lots of praying and being sad, and then baby Jesus brings you presents.
Okay. Fair enough. But now, if you're not Christian at all, you can really look at this as a family occasion. This is a time, this is more important than Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's specifically American.
Yes.
This is more important than quite a few holidays, this is a holiday that is kind of respected all over the globe, essentially. There's places where it's not, but
Yeah, mostly the places where there isn't a large Christian population. But
no. Many countries, like I'm sure maybe Israel doesn't, but
but they're party poopers.
the majority of the countries in the world, whether or not there's a large Christian country, at least respect and as far as, holiday and stuff, respect Christmas because it is so much about family being together, friends, close friends being together. Don't hang around with those people who you met in college and went to one party with. Spend time with the people who matter to you.
We're really going on this, but I think what Christmas is really missing is a good Christmas tree, which we do not have.
It isn't even a tree. It's a bush.
So
It's a shrub. No. So here we are with the rugged reviewer who's gonna hopefully not blow a hole in my barn today. And they're very thirsty. Today we're gonna review the iTarget. Well, you have to keep your identity a secret, so look that way while you drink the beer. Now, this works by putting a little laser bullet, and hopefully that shows up on the camera, but it at least shows up in Alfred's eye. So what I'm going to do today with the rugged reviewer is, if I can get it out of my pocket, I'm going to give the rugged reviewer a gun. And they probably don't know how to work it, or they do, but I'd be scared. Can I have that back? Or they know not to point it at me, so that's good. So what you do is you put this fancy laser bullet in your gun, and it makes a good, nice seal in there, I guess, and it shoots when you pull the trigger. It shoots. It flashes the laser when the firing pin strikes it. So I'm going to. Rugged reviewer's still thirsty. So this works in a fancy conjunction with an app that I probably just fell out of shop for. I've been drinking. It's okay. Now you have to make sure it's unloaded. Check it once, check it twice, whatever, all that stuff. You all right there?
Can't see.
That makes it even better. So I have checked this for safety. So the rugged reviewer here is not going to shoot anyone. And this little thing works in conjunction with the app. It fires the laser when you pull the trigger because the firing pin strikes the back of the laser. The app even gives you a big rundown, a list of safety, remove the magazine, check the chamber, remove the ammunition, remove any other firearms.
does it tell you not to do this drunk?
No. But basically, you set it up on this little thing, you set your app up, and you kind of zoom it around and work with it. And I can't tell you how the app works over this because that's, I don't know. I'm going to set that up and we're going to hit play. I'm going to grab the firearm safely and not between my legs again. Push the rugged reviewer over here, who's now going to take the gun and shoot at the target. Try to be accurate. Oh, kind of good. Oh, he's good from 2 yards away. So don't engage the rugged reviewer from a couple feet. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take the rugged reviewer and give me the gun. We're going to push him to probably about 10 yards. Hey dog, move out of the way. yards away, everyone has moved safely out of the way. Just in case the rugged reviewer shoots a real bullet. I don't know how they would, but the rugged, oh, he made it on target both times. And that's a good enough for a score. I have secured the firearm from our rugged reviewer, and if you take a peek here, it's tough to see, but our rugged reviewer, you can kind of see where the shots are, maybe. The rugged reviewer scored a 76 out of 14, which it says you can get 10 points per shot, so not bad. Probably could have defended themselves in a scenario if they had to, but I wouldn't want to be anywhere near where they were shooting.
I heard then, it was like the Lord spoke that through me then. Oh, there it is. Who ba ba panda? Who ba ba panda? Get up right now. Who ba ba panda? Who ba ba panda? There it is again.
We're probably not gonna shoot an episode around New Year's Eve, but we might. So this is if you've noticed, our episodes have gotten progressively longer, and last time it was completely accidental. This time it's pretty intentional because it's Christmas.
We've gone off on a few tangents. We're excited.
We're excited. We're fairly drunk. We're fairly socially lubricated. We you know, and all this excitement, I forgot I almost got shot
Really?
by the rugged reviewer. And you know what's going to be even funnier? That I jumped into that knowing that when you buy ammunition, pay attention to the labels. We were supposed to have a big gunfight.
Then we found out bullets hurt you.
No.
And, that just went up in smoke.
I had a plan with blanks, and I was going to give the rugged reviewer, knowing how timid the rugged reviewer is, which probably is a bad idea, I was going to give the rugged reviewer a gun with blanks in it. And there was probably going to be, because it's blanks, it's obviously not going to put a hole in anything.
Unless you're real close.
Even at that, it'll hurt, but I was going to have them looking around, looking for holes, like, what the hell's going on? But apparently they make something known as 9mm PAK, which is specifically for noise-making devices. And this gun is not a noise-making
That
device.
is a shooting device.
This is a shooting device. It also makes noise.
It does.
But it's specifically
But that is not
for
its primary intent.
So, let's jump into our manly products because we should talk about the product we reviewed. The box is somewhere over there. It doesn't matter. The iTarget.
The iTarget. Tell me about the iTarget, because I'm actually interested in this.
These people are going to be all confused about our chronological order.
I gain nothing from the rugged reviews.
What?
It's like talking to a child.
Well, that's true. But, so basically, the iTarget, it's a laser bullet that activates only when the firing pin strikes.
Forrest, so you're telling me that we have access to laser bullets, and there's a magazine restriction in the state of New Jersey?
All right.
That doesn't seem right.
It's fixed, like, it actually doesn't eject when you run the slide. You have to lock the slide back and tap it out because it's designed not to feed like while you're sitting there you might be practicing, it's designed not to feed a live bullet into the chamber.
Clever.
So it's like a laser pointer that only activates when the firing pin strikes it, and you set it up with your phone on this target, and it's meant to do dry firing practice with the phone.
Right, so the camera looks at the target
Yeah.
and picks up where the lasers hit.
Long story short, it's a way to practice with approximately where your gun's shooting, because It's not a real bullet. It doesn't fit the chamber. It literally can't fit the chamber 100% correct.
Yeah, it's like laser tag, but with deadly weapons.
No, it's like a video game practice. So anyway, it's Christmas. You might be wondering what gifts to get people.
That's a good, well...
The iTarget's a good gift.
The iTarget is a good...
But because we got to do it manly gifts. You know what else is a good gift?
A car?
$100,000 Lincoln.
That is a good gift. Is that what you're getting?
I don't know. Maybe. I think we need some more subscribers.
Yeah, before the Lincoln. Anyway, it's a cool Lincoln, though. It's the 80th anniversary, the Lincoln Continental. They're bringing back suicide doors for 80 cars.
But, 80th, 80. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they should have just made
They
that
can't
for
call them
run.
suicide doors.
No, they're anniversary doors.
They're anniversary coach doors. But because of microaggressions and things of that nature, please see our last episode if you don't know why I hate the term microaggression.
I do not endorse anything that may or may not have been said in that episode.
You should
I have
watch
not
the
seen
episodes. But microaggressions don't actually exist. But we still have to follow them, and because of that, things like suicide doors don't exist. They're coach doors.
Sure, sure.
No.
Anyway, on to less
he
controversial
doesn't-
topics. Less controversial topics. They're making a new Xbox. It'll be as bad as the last Xbox.
What do you mean?
It's just underwhelming, frankly.
All consoles are underwhelming.
Yeah,
PCs are the best. Everybody already knows that.
they're not the best, though. Honestly, if PCs... if I could... Although I have to say, Steam goes a long way to fixing this, and I'm sure some people fucking hate Steam, but Steam is
You're gonna
good.
have to censor this.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
PG-13, we get
We're
one.
here for a good time, not a long
We get
time.
one. The point is, when I sit down to play a video game, I want to turn on whatever I want to play and hit start and have my game run without
Steam makes PCs work.
Steam makes PCs work like 80% of the time, which is pretty good, considering that PCs never quite work right with games. Like,
But the
your
PS4
drivers are always out of date,
Which is
the
why-
games always
Which is why
bugged.
consoles are good, but the PS4 was a letdown for people, the Xbox was a letdown for people. At some point, you can't have such high expectations.
Honestly,
for some
it's
of it.
because of the last generation. PlayStation 2, phenomenal.
Fair point. PlayStation 3.
Even PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 were phenomenal. But now we've gotten to the point where we've got these really... honestly, it's not even the consoles, it's the games.
Fair point.
I think it's the games have been underwhelming.
So I'm not even going to talk about all the good games I think that exist.
There are a few, but...
You know what? There are a few, but there are quite a few actually. I'm just trying to check if I missed anything. Oh, man crates.
Yeah, go into the man crates. That's your...
So I love giving product plugs for free. So if anyone decides they won't even kick us like $3, we'll probably do a commercial for you. Anything.
Literally anything. Honestly, it might hurt you, so pay us not to do a commercial. Maybe that's what this needs to be.
Maybe. But man crates are... Hang on. I put more whiskey in this eggnog and it's even better.
Man crates. Crates full of man.
So, what it is you order
Awesome.
a man crate and there's so many different options. You can get... And
I
they're...
thought they got rid of that after the Civil War. No?
They're specifically meant for the man in your life.
You have a lot of men in your life?
Oh, yeah. You can get a jerky bouquet for someone. You can get... My girlfriend's parents bought me a... last year for Christmas, they got me a Moscow Mule making set, which came with a shaker. They come with a whole variety. There's basically prices from $40 to $200. You can get a gift card that, as it's packaged, it comes as a small block of concrete and a hammer, and you have to break into it to get the gift card. The regular gift ship as a like a cheap, well, it's cheap, but it works, a wooden crate, and you have to pry into that crate and
Wow,
break
how
things apart.
manly.
It's manly. I mean, we go over real manly stuff, like cutting down a tree. Like, at some point, we're going to show you how to fix a frozen pipe in the house. We've shown you how to light pilot lights. Maybe we'll show you how to open a jar of pickles, but probably not with children inside, though.
Who knows?
But there are men who don't get to do those physically involved activities all their lives. And this is the kind of thing that they want.
This is a hell of a plug for man crates.
It is.
Now I kind of want to go out and buy one.
Right?
I want to open a fucking wooden box.
That's two!
Whatever.
I have to censor one.
We haven't cursed any else though. There's gotta be like a sliding limit.
Alright, somewhere, maybe, who knows, on that landmine. Landmine. I fixed the typo this time. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. For those of you who are subscribed, thank you for making this our great initial year. We hope to see about 100 times as many of you next year, though.
Nah, 1,000.
1,000?
Let's shoot big. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
And get with the beat.